Wonderhussy here, celebrating the fact that I can finally say, woo! Again. That was one of the worst side effects of having the Cocoa Puffs. It messed up my voice to the point where I actually fully lost my voice for about 2 days. And then it took like 3-4 weeks for me to finally be able to do my woo! 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 But it's back. And I thought I'd celebrate by wearing these fancy sunglasses. Aren't these awesome? A very kind viewer, sent me these glasses, and they're a lot of fun, but I'm not just gonna wear them around the house. If I'm gonna wear these sunglasses, I'm gonna go out. Okay, I live in a tiny town. There's not a whole lot of places to go out where I live, but we do have a couple breweries and a few restaurants, and, well, interestingly, I haven't had a drink since December 26th, okay? Today, I'm shooting this on Friday, January 26th, so that means it's been a full month since I've had any booze at all. But now that I'm finally well again, I figured it might be fun to go out, see some friends, and have a drink. And so that means it's time to get dressed. Now you might be wondering, what in tarnation are you doing with all them furry marshmallows, Wonderhussy? Well, they're not furry marshmallows, they're furry hats. And the reason I have so many of them is that I'm on a quest to recapture past glory. Once upon a time, I had this really cool, big, fluffy, furry white hat made of Tuscan lambskin. Okay, an ex-boyfriend of mine found it at a Goodwill up in Portland, Oregon, and it was my favorite hat. It was just the right amount of fluffy, obnoxiously fluffy, obnoxiously big. I'm just the kind of person, I like to wear hats, man. I don't like, well, you probably notice you hardly ever see me with my hair down. I don't like wearing my hair down because it gets in my way, it gets in my face, it blows around in the wind. Then you gotta style it. Well, you might ask yourself, why do I even have long hair if I never wear it down? Anyway, I'm always wearing a baseball cap. I might as well just shave my head and get a baseball cap with a fake ponytail attached to the back of it. But I don't know, every now and then I do like wearing my hair down, and so I guess that's why I have long hair. But anyway, I always wear a hat, okay? If I'm not wearing my baseball hat, sometimes I want to get a little dressed up, or if it's real cold, I like to wear a big fluffy fur hat. And so I wore the one my ex-boyfriend got me in Portland all over the place for years. But then eventually it started to get kind of funky, mostly from wearing it around too many campfires. And so one day I washed it, and the washing it wasn't the problem. I did it on gentle, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then I put it in the dryer like a ding-a-ling. And that's what you don't want to do to these Tuscan lambskin hats. That poor hat got super hard and crunchy, and I guess it kind of shrunk up too. I tried everything to fix it. I tried Neat's foot oil, to get it lubed back up so it would stretch back out to its former glory. Well, unfortunately, the hat was ruined, and that was probably back in 2014, so 10 years ago. For 10 years, I've been trying to find a replacement for that hat, and that's why I have so many different fluffy fur hats. I've been looking all over the dang internet trying to find one to replace it. Now, I don't really I've had this one the longest. I got this a few years ago. It's not the same. It's not as fluffy as the first one. Plus, it has this ridiculous little pom-pom on top. So then I thought, oh, well, maybe I'll try this one. This is a Kazakh sheep herder's hat. That's right, all the way from Kazakhstan in the former USSR. And I do like this hat, but, it's not the original Tuscan lambskin. Surely somebody else on the internet somewhere, on eBay or Poshmark or somewhere is gonna have that original Tuscan lamb's fur hat like I had. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's not that easy to find just the right hat. This one I just got about 3-4 months ago on Poshmark, and I think I paid maybe this one was only $25. Anyway, you can see I'm having a hard time putting it on my head. This one is just way too small. But then this one, which I got on eBay, is way too big. I mean, look at that. I look like one of the palace guards at Buckingham Palace. But around $200 later, I finally found this one And it's pretty close. So this is the hat that I usually wear out, and I might wear it when I go out now. But you know what I should be wearing? I should be wearing this hat. This is one of the hats that I sell on my website. Okay, if you've ever been to my website, wonderhussy.com, I got a merch section with all kind of cool stickers with my magic donkey logo and other logos. So go check that out if you haven't. This is one of the hats that I sell there, and it's a real nice hat. I really like the way the donkey pops out, and I like everything about it except for two things. Okay, I've talked about this before. I'm really particular when it comes to my hats. And this is canvas twill, and it has a kind of a flat brim. I don't know. I don't like canvas twill or a flat brim on my face shape. I'm real weird about hats. The only kind of hat I like to wear are these old school foam and mesh trucker caps, okay? The cheapy ones. I don't know, I'm vain, I'm weird. I just feel like this is more flattering on my face than this. Although, I don't know. Now that I'm looking at this hat, maybe it's not so bad. Actually, this is the hat I should be wearing. This ridiculous, giant, floppy sun hat. Because we all know how bad the sun is for our skin. But oh my gosh, I'm a sun worshiper. But I do have to start staying out of the sun for reals because I finally decided to do something about my acne. I'm always complaining about my face breaking out. And I've tried, well, you know how people always say I've tried everything. Well, I really have tried everything. And I get a lot of emails from people telling me, oh, here's the secret. Have you tried castor oil? Have you tried not eating cashews? Have you tried this, that, and the other? Yes, I have. I've tried them all. I ate a healthy diet. I sleep great. I don't know what more I can do. So unfortunately, it all comes down to chemicals. So I got a bunch of new chemicals I'm going to try. And while I'm using them, I'm supposed to stay out of the sun. How am I going to stay out of the sun? I'm a YouTuber for my living. You know, I make adventure videos outdoors for a living. Staying out of the sun really isn't an option. I mean, yeah, I could wear that big floppy brimmed hat, or I have one of those Muslim head veils where it's just a slit that you peek out of. That's what I really should be wearing, because that way I wouldn't have to wear makeup, you know? I could just, at the beginning of my videos, I could lift the veil and go, hello, Wonderhussy here. And then just go exploring in a niqab. It's called a niqab. But if I was just bumbling around rural Nevada wearing a niqab, folks might look at me kind of strange. So that's really not an option. Unfortunately, I guess my only option is going to be to sort of, I don't know, split the difference. Like, I'll try to stay out of the sun as much as possible while using these products. I just want to use them until my skin clears up. But then, of course, they tell you, oh, well, yeah, but once you stop using them, your skin's going to break out again. Ugh, I can't win. I'm going to use it until my skin clears up and then just keep my fingers crossed, I guess. Because I just can't imagine staying indoors for the rest of my life or wearing a giant floppy brimmed hat for the rest of my life. Anyway, enough blabbering. Let me pick a hat and get dressed to go. Okay, I decided to go with the tried and true hat and glasses. Unfortunately, those awesome Dame Edna glasses don't fit with this hat. Anyway, let's get in the car and go get a drink. Okay, believe it or not, we have more breweries per capita in the town where I live than any other city in America. That's right, we have 2 breweries for a population of around 150, 200 people. So I guess that's some kind of record. And both of the breweries are really good. You know, I'm not a beer drinker, but I have lots of friends who are beer drinkers, and they've told me the beer is great at both places. The ambiance is great at both places. There's good food at both places. But I'm going to go to the one that I guess I would say is my favorite. Oh gosh, now I feel bad for the other brewery. I'm serious. They're both really good places, and I love both of them. But I just feel like going over here today for my first drink in a month. You know how a lot of people do that dry January? Well, there's no sense in me waiting until the end of January since my sobriety started basically on the 27th. I'm just gonna go to the 26th. I will say, I don't think I felt any like health benefits, and I certainly didn't see my complexion benefiting from not drinking. So it's like, I know alcohol is supposed to be really bad for you, but I don't drink a ton. I've also heard that it can also be a factor in depression. But I haven't been any less depressed for the last 30 days, so I'm not sure how much there is to any of those theories. Anyway, I feel pretty good right now. I mean, I'm not dying for a drink, but I feel like it might be nice to just have a little sip of cider. Okay, the brewery I'm going to is right down here in what we call downtown Tacoma. Oh dear, it looks like there's a whole bunch of people in there. You can see there's vans and cars and trucks and all kinds of folks lined up to have a drink. Hopefully there's room at the bar for me. Actually, before I go into the brewery, I should talk a little bit about this big event we're doing coming up in, only about 3 weeks' time. If you remember last spring, we had a big volunteer fire department fundraiser, and a lot of you guys actually ended up coming out for that, which I really appreciate. Our volunteer fire department out here needs all the help it can get. Okay, first of all, it's all volunteers, and so we appreciate what they do, but they're operating with like a shoestring budget. I mean, we don't even have a fire station. It's just a Connex shipping container. It's rough. So we had this event back last April where it was kind of like a community arts and crafts festival. There was vendors, there was belly dancing and a drum circle. And then I set up a booth where people could come meet me, take a picture, say hi. And we ended up raising a bunch of money for the fire department. It turned out awesome. I, again, can't thank everybody enough who showed up at that. Well, guess what? It's time to do it again. Only it's not going to be quite as big as the one last year. This one isn't really an arts and crafts festival. This time, it's a flea market. Sorry if there's a weird hum in the background, but there's this, well, what I thought was a weather station sitting out here in front of the post office. But come to find out, I don't think it's a weather station. I think it's monitoring radiation fallout. I know, that's kind of freaky, but I think that's what this says. Yeah, Community Environmental Monitoring Program. The Community Environmental Monitoring Program is a network of radiation and weather monitoring stations located in communities surrounding the Nevada National Security Site, formerly known as the Nevada Test Site. Okay, the Nevada Test Site where they detonated all them nukes back in the day, like tested all the nuclear bombs out in the desert about, I think it's like 60 miles north of Vegas, and it's just over yonder. And I guess all these communities in the area are still suffering the effects of fallout. Golly, one more thing to worry about. I don't know though. I mean, you tell me. There's the background gamma for today, 0.23. That doesn't seem too high, I hope. Anyway, all of that was just to say that's why there's this weird electrical hum in the background. Don't mind that. It's just the radiation monitoring station. Anyway, back to what I was saying about this flea market. Yeah, we're going to have a big community-wide rummage sale. So all the folks who live here are going to bring all their old antiques and valuables and probably some junk too, and set up tables and booths in this parking lot right here, right between the radiation monitoring station and the brewery. So if you're into antiquing or flea markets, finding those vintage bargain finds, or if you're just into coming out to the beautiful sunny desert, I mean, it's pretty nice weather today, and by the time of this event, which is President's Day weekend, it should be real nice weather. If you're just into coming out to the desert on a sunny day, having an ice cold beer at a local craft brewery, or going for a soak in the hot springs, well, come on out. We're going to be here Saturday and Sunday, 2 days. Gosh, I feel like this is where I should do that. Saturday, Saturday, Saturday. Only I would have to say Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, and Saturday, Sunday. It would just be too confusing. Anyway, Saturday and Sunday of President's Day weekend, we're all going to be out here having a big old party, and you're invited. So if you're in Vegas or Pahrump, it'll be an easy drive for you. Just come on out. But if you're from out of town, well, you're welcome to come from anywhere. We've got plenty of places to stay out here. There's 3-4 different hot spring resorts, and they've got cabins and rooms you can rent. Or if you're into camping, there's campgrounds. There's full electrical and hookups for RVs. Or if you're just into camping for free, because you're a broke-ass hippie like me, there's plenty of BLM land, aka land owned by the federal government, where you can camp for free. So basically what I'm saying is there's no excuse not to come out for this flea market. Everyone's going to be here, and we'd love to see you. Okay, let's go get a drink. Before we go into the brewery, here's what it looks like from the outside. Classic, low-slung, dusty desert dive bar, conveniently located right next door to a cafe. That's right, there's a little cafe called the Kit Fox Cafe in the building right next door to the brewery. And like the sign says, they've got really good espresso and all kind of coffee drinks, which I can't drink caffeine, but they do make decaf. And they also make this really cool golden latte. It's like turmeric and steamed milk, really yummy. Anyway, but they also have wood-fired pizza. There's a whole wood-fired pizza oven right back in that little covering there. And they got sandwiches and baked goods and breakfast, and it's really good food there. It's a really cool couple that runs it. And so they're going to be open during this flea market event too. If you come out here, be sure to stop in and get a bite to eat. Unfortunately, I'm not hungry right now. I'm just thirsty. So I'm going over here to this brewery to get myself something to wet my whistle. Now, I've been coming to this brewery since way before I moved to this town. Like I said, it's one of those classic, it's like a destination. You know, those really cool like road trip bars where it's worth driving all the way out from Vegas or LA even just to come have a drink, because the ambiance is so cool in here. I've been in here on nights when it was blustering windy outside, nasty sand blowing through the air, and oh God, I made it through the night, and it's pitch black out here. There's no street lights. Made it through the night, got to the bar, opened the door, and the lights were all on, and it was warm and cozy, and there's a bunch of people in there having beers and having a fine time. It's just that kind of place. Look at this. There's a giant beer stein out front. Open sign, let you know they're open. And then there's this skeleton just sitting on the bench out front with a big old growler on his lap, which they do sell growlers here. If you're interested in that kind of thing, you can bring your jug and fill it up. Me, well, I'm not much for beer, but Dan, the brewmeister, he does make a really good hard cider. Now, I haven't been in a month, so he might not have it in stock, because I think I'm one of the only people in town who doesn't drink beer. Most everybody just gets the beer. But if I'm lucky, he'll have enough for me to have just a taste. Okay, like I said, this place has character up the yin-yang. Look at this cool, kind of like rec room, really nicely refurbished pool table. He just had that refurbished. Cool old comfy chairs to sit in, tables, lots of interesting bric-a-brac. Look at this collection of old beer cans. I've never even noticed these, you know? I come in here all the time, but not in the frame of mind like I'm shooting a video and looking at all the details. It's got an amazing collection of old beer cans. And then, yeah, some interesting decorations. And then a map. Look at these maps. This shows you where people who come in here are from. You know those maps where you put a pin in where you come from? Folks came from as far away as Colombia, Spain, Saudi Arabia. It's amazing that people come from all over the world and, of course, all across the country just to check out this little bar. Okay, let's see about having a drink. Oh, here we are, the usual collection of degenerates hanging out in the bar. How are you, Dan?
Oh, hanging in there. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Let me give you a hug.
Nice to see you.
Thank you, Dan. It's always nice to see you. I've been sober for 30 days.
Yeah.
Do you happen to have any cider on tap?
I do have cider.
Oh, okay.
And then I also made a hard root beer.
Hard root beer?
It's made with dates from the date farm.
Oh, that sounds kind of fun. Oh,
yeah.
Gosh, decisions.
Would you want to try a sample of it?
I'd love to. Yeah, so here's the menu board of all the different beers that he brews here, and he's got quite a few, and you can see the alcohol by volume percentage is pretty high on some of these. Is the root beer high? Uh-oh.
6.7.
6.7. Oh my gosh, this is my first alcohol in 30 days, man. I feel like
that's an honor.
as soon as I drink this, I'm gonna like strip off all my clothes and run down the street or something.
Wouldn't
Maybe.
be the first time, no.
Well, it wouldn't, Dan. Dan knows me well. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow.
Just yesterday, as a birthday present to myself, I bought a book on how to make all the sodas from absolute
Really?
scratch.
Like
you know?
Coca-Cola?
Wow. Yeah.
Well, root beer, there's shrubs, there's
Oh, wow.
ginger beers, there's vanilla, it's more like that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so...
Sarsaparilla.
Yeah,
This
people
is kind of
don't
has a
understand that
sarsaparilla vibe.
Yeah.
Wow, this is good.
So I'm actually going to develop my own personal recipes and roots and everything. So I'm excited
Right on.
about
So you don't just brew beer.
not just beer.
Okay, Dan says that the Kit Fox guys are about to make a pizza.
Yep. We built a wood-fired pizza oven. It's fired with locally sourced mesquite.
Locally sourced mesquite? Get out of town. Okay, well, let me take a sip of my delicious root beer. And I'll leave it right here.
I'll protect it for you.
Dan will protect it because you never know with some of these people hanging out
Keep
here.
an eye on me.
I actually know him. We camped together at Burning Man, so that's why I'm afraid of stuff ending up in my drink. Okay, I'll go check out the pizza oven.
Awesome.
Okay, let's go next door. Oh, by the way, here's another kind of cool thing. Oh, I thought there was a payphone here, but I guess they took it out. Because there's no cell signal out here at all. And that's something you have to keep in mind. If you do come out here for this flea market, there's no cell signal. So make sure you know where you're going ahead of time. Okay, here's the Kit Fox Cafe. I'll just do a quick peek inside. Hi. Look at this cozy cafe. How's the food? Food's good? Awesome. We're going to go check out the pizza oven. Wow, cool. So here we have Kit Fox John whipping up a pizza. What up, John?
Hey,
So you make everything from scratch, huh?
we do.
Wow, look at that. And you guys built this pizza oven. This is where all the magic happens. Oh, wow, cool. It feels so nice and warm and cozy. What kind of pizza did they order?
They put black olives, mushrooms, bell pepper, and sausage on it.
Oh, okay. Kind of like the usual.
Build your own.
Far out. What do you guys charge for a pizza?
Cheese pizzas are $17, and then we charge $1 a topping.
Oh, okay. And watching you spin the dough is free? What a deal.
Included in the price.
And you guys will be open during the community flea market event?
We will.
So if there's any people that want to come here and get a pizza, they can come see you.
That's the plan.
Uh-oh, there's even more cars rolling up now. It's starting to get real busy here at the Death Valley Brewery. It is Friday, and that's one of Dan's busy days. And I actually had him turn the music off so I could record video without there being copyrighted music playing. And I don't want to ruin the vibe in his brewery on a Friday night. So
People might be going.
I guess I'll wrap this up. Dan, I'm going to wrap this up so you can turn your music back on and get back to business. But
Okay.
listen, we appreciate you. You'll be open during the flea market.
Yep.
You're going to be serving all that delicious beer,
Yep.
all that delicious cider,
Yep.
and all that delicious hard root beer.
Yep.
And you also, do you have anything for the non-boozers?
Well, I make a non-alcoholic root beer. And then
Okay.
I'm thinking of making like a ginger ale and
Ooh, yeah.
with that whole book that I got, the sky's the limit at this point.
He's going to make all kinds of artisanal sodas. So
Yeah.
come by and check him out. Thanks, Dan.
I'll see you later.
Wow, I could easily spend all night hanging out at this brewery, drinking those delicious hard root beers. But I'd better make my way home because it happens to be a full moon. Well, actually, the full moon was last night, but close enough. And my sister and I want to go for a full moon soak in the hot spring. So I better get home and get my bag ready. I got to bring my warm, fluffy robe. I might have to make myself a mug of hot cocoa. And now that I'm officially off the wagon, well, I might have to add some bourbon to it.